Anyone who's ever played a Stalker game knows that it's a series that pushes back against you. Hard. The world is constantly trying to kill you, whether it be mutants, bandits, radiation, hunger, or anomalies. There are a whole lot of threats to try and wrap your head around. Here's 19 things that Stalker 2 doesn't tell you. Most merchants won't buy equipment or weapons from you if they have red durability. If your stuff is about to break, you need to head to a technician to repair it before you can sell it to most people. You also need to repair your weapons before you can upgrade them. Can't slap a modification on a piece of junk. There are merchants in the world that will buy weapons and equipment that are about to break, such as Ragman and Rostock, but they're an exception. Most of the time, repairs are needed before trading. After you reach Zelicia, there's a personal stash and hamster shop next to the bed. If you don't want to lug heavy weapons around, but you also don't have the money to repair or upgrade them to make them useful, here's where you can throw them until you're ready. This also transfers between larger settlements, so any place you can find this orange stash box, the same items will be in it no matter where you first stash them. The main story missions will clue you in on the stash eventually, but its usefulness begins right from the outset. Anomalies are everywhere in the zone, and one of your key ways of detecting and evading them are these beeps that you'll hear. A lot of these will have visual cues such as turbulent air, electricity on the ground, or even small flames. Most of these, if you can't get around them, can be disabled for a few seconds by throwing your bolts and then sprinting through the space that they just were. Always slow down when you hear these beeps, as it's very easy to sprint straight into one. The second kind of beeping you need to get used to is from your detector when there's an artifact nearby. Artifacts are equipable relics with potentially powerful effects, both positive and negative, and they're often found amongst anomalies, which can get confusing if you're hearing both at the same time. The artifact beeping will line up with the pulses on your detector, and once you get close enough, the artifact will phase into existence. You can also hear some traps before they go off. Certain places will have tripwires with explosives attached. If you hear one activate, hightail it out of there before it explodes. Once you know how to find and neutralize them, anomalies can be more useful than bullets, especially in facing creatures that need to be close to attack you. If they're rushing you, rather than wasting valuable ammo, try putting an anomaly between you and them and just watch them get torn apart. This doesn't work with humans or mutants that are too smart, as they'll just sidestep it, but you can lure some enemies straight in. Here's an example of these weird pig blob things that take forever to kill with conventional weapons. This seems obvious, but even more so than other shooters, headshots are extremely important. Enemy armor may vary, but headshots can make the difference between using 1 bullet or 10, and bullets come at a premium. Aim for the head. Also, this is more of a rule for firefights in general, not just in Stalker, but try to acquire and maintain a high vantage point. Enemies can be very hard to see, so getting a chance to back up, reload, and read your hit detector and compass to try and locate them can be invaluable, especially for lining up shots to the dome. When you can't reach the high ground, make ample use of cover, especially leaning around corners. You can lean by aiming down sights while approaching a corner, or by pressing the lean buttons on your respective platform. Not only do you take damage when hit, because of course you do, but your equipment does as well. When your armor deteriorates, you have to pay to repair it, which can get very expensive. Save your health and your gear by keeping as little of your body exposed as possible. Stalker 2 does have fast travel, but it's expensive and isn't available until you've made ample progress in the main story. Characters marked as guides inside settlements like Zelicia can teleport you to other settlements that contain guides for a certain amount of coupons. Uncle Leonia is the guide in Zelicia, but he can't send you anywhere unless you've been there already. For a more thorough explanation of how fast travel works, check out our standalone video on it. Be smart about which side missions you take from Warlock and other quest givers. After selecting a side mission, sometimes the others will become unavailable after you complete the first, even if they gave you a few to choose from, as other Stalkers will be grabbing work as well. For example, when Warlock gives you an option of a few different missions, if you decide to take up the bandits, once you do, the other options will no longer be available. This also happens if you inform Warlock that you can't complete the job.
That's too bad. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, what good are you then? Get out of my sight.
The quest log often doesn't give you all the information you need, nor does it spell out why you're doing something. So if you tend to skip through quest dialogue, there's a good chance you'll get pretty lost. If something seems important during a conversation, it probably is. So take screenshots of this info when you come across it, and you can reference it later, such as the lineup of certain factions and their leaders. This also works for the tips during loading screens. A lot of these are legitimately useful and they can go by quickly depending on your rig, so don't be stingy with the screenshot button whatever platform you're playing on. If you're anything like us, you'll want to be quick saving constantly and making hard manual saves. Mistakes in Stalker 2 are costly, and a quick lapse in judgment can see you losing lots of time, money, or even your life very suddenly. For instance, fall damage can be pretty severe. If you're going to attempt to jump off a ledge, even if it looks like a short drop, you might want to quick save first. There's a very fine line between completely safe and I just broke every bone in my body. If you're high up on a building or cliff, it's always worth looking around for a ladder or a ledge to drop down. So whether it be falling, wanting to replay a quest decision, or you just use too much ammo in a firefight, don't be stingy about saving. Different technicians across the zone will be able to upgrade different guns and equipment. When you see the warning, the technician cannot install this upgrade, without any other explanation as to why they can't perform it, you probably need to find a new technician for that particular item. Some of these upgrades are also permanent, such as sawing the barrel off a shotgun or changing a Viper's ammo caliber. These technicians will also charge differently for repairs as well, and the same goes for selling to merchants. Here's the same piece of armor priced by two different people, about 30 feet apart. Now one's a weapons merchant and the other's a bartender, but still, that's a 3,500 coupon difference. Double check the sale price before finalizing transactions. There is an in-game clock in the top right corner of the PDA, which can be helpful if you'd rather make a long trek in the morning. This clock can be very useful since when your eyes adjust to interiors, the outdoors can look much brighter than they actually are once you step outside. If you need to pass time, sleeping moves you forward 7 hours as well as restores your health. Just note that every time you sleep, you'll wake up hungry and will need to eat before sleeping again, as you can't sleep with any ailments. Make sure when choosing the weapons you keep on your person that they use a variety of ammo types. There's nothing worse than switching to a new weapon in the middle of a firefight and realizing you just used all your ammo with a previous gun. Also consider keeping your long-range weapons in single fire mode rather than automatic. Save auto-fire for close quarters weapons. To quickly check ammo types, hover over your ammo or guns on your inventory screen. When hovering over a gun, the ammo type available for that gun will also highlight, and vice versa. Certain enemies are more vulnerable to certain ammo types as well. Make sure you're using regular bullets for fleshy mutants and non-armored bandits, and switch to armor-piercing bullets when you're going up against mutants with tougher hides or armored humans. While radiation will slowly start to affect you as you wade into it, if you enter an area that's too irradiated, you'll die instantly. When you start to hear the Geiger counter click up, or see the sparkle effect on the sides of your screen, back up, chug some vodka, and try to find another route. You don't have to watch the eating animation play out for everything you chow down on since you can just eat from the inventory. But eating too fast means you won't get the full health benefit of your food. Make sure to let the full healing amount go into effect before eating the next item, or you'll be wasting your meals. A great way to know if you'll need to eat again is by looking at the hunger icon. If the icon is still there but it's more transparent, that means you'll need to eat again before it goes away completely. You can stealth kill with your knife equipped. When Skiff switches his grip as you approach an enemy, that means pressing the attack button will do an instant takedown. But opportunities for stealth can be hard to come by since enemies can see you from so far away, so there are a few things you can do to help your chances. First of all, crouching isn't as slow or as quiet as you can be. After you're already crouched, the walk button still works to slow you down even more so you make less noise. Secondly, turn off your flashlight as enemies can spot that easily. And thirdly, the compass on the top of the screen actually functions as a noise meter. The length of the blue line shows how much noise you're making. Here's an example of an unsilenced pistol, and then a silenced one. Make sure you unload the guns you find. Even if you don't want to pick up a weapon out in the world, you can take the ammo out and leave the gun there. If you unload a gun while the inventory screen is open before adding it to your own inventory, make sure you pick up the ammo as it will just separate it from the weapon and not give it to you automatically. Thankfully, dropping a gun into the sell window at a merchant will unload the gun automatically, so you won't lose those bullets. Attachments and upgrades are different things in Stalker 2. Attachments, such as extended mags, scopes, silencers, and even underbarrel grenade launchers, can be taken on and off your weapon while out in the world. Upgrades, on the other hand, have to be done by technicians, and often give some percentage bonus to a weapon's performance, such as stability, accuracy, or the ability to pierce armor. Sometimes, however, technicians will need to install modules to make weapon attachments possible, such as adding a scope mount to a weapon that you can then attach your own scope to. Keep your encumbrance in the green whenever possible. When you see this weight icon above your health, you'll get tired from sprinting or jumping more quickly. And if you're carrying enough, you'll even move more slowly. Only take what you need, move lightly, and don't pick up everything you find. The extra weight can get you killed. Well, that was a lot, but Stalker demands a lot from you. We hope you found it useful, and while you're here, make sure to check out our video on the things to do first. And for everything else gaming, you're already in the right place. IGN.